Welcome to Fox College Football, powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And welcome to the Rose Bowl, where UCLA takes the field and gets ready to host the highest-ranked opponent at the Rose Bowl in more than a decade. It is 5th-ranked Oklahoma coming to Pasadena, looking like a well-oiled machine over the first 2 weeks of the season here in year 3 under Lincoln Riley. There's a lot of crimson inside the Rose Bowl, making noise for the Sooners as they try to get to 3-0 on the season. Joe Davis, Brock Heward, Bruce Feldman joins us in a moment. So for Oklahoma, you have Baker Mayfield win the Heisman. He leaves. Kyler Murray wins the Heisman. He leaves. And if they handed a Heisman Trophy away after 2 weeks of the season, the new quarterback, Jalen Hurts, just might win it.
Yeah, he's off to a pretty good start, I'd say. More touchdowns than incompletions. That'd be 9-7. What I respect so much, though, Joe, he's the captain. He came in here, he won that captainship, not just because of what he did at Alabama, and he was phenomenal. He gained the respect of so many, but by what he is doing here, he is just shutting his mouth. He is working, and I'm not surprised at all to see him running, the leading rusher for these Sooners as well. And Lincoln Riley's a guy that many of us offensive analysts so enjoy breaking down the tape, because seemingly every week he's got something new. He puts his people in the best position for success. And while Kyler was an explosive runner, this is a different cat in Jalen. Running between the tackles, doing the damage. They are so difficult to defend.
You're just about set to go on a very hot Saturday afternoon. 96 degrees at the Rose Bowl. Bruce, I know you've got some injury updates, but how hot is it down there?
Joe, it's hot, but it's really not humid, so it's mild by that standard. UCLA got some good news this week. Joshua Kelly, the 1,000-yard back from last year, he missed the opener. He was dealing with a knee injury. He came back last week. He told us he is expecting to get a much heavier load today. Better news, a team that has struggled to make any big plays. They get Theo Howard. He's their best receiver. He's back from a wrist injury. On top of that, Darnay Holmes, their terrific cornerback, the team's best player. He will be back for his season debut today. Chip Kelly told me this guy is such a calming influence on the rest of the team. He goes, when the stuff hits the fan, and it will, he's the guy everybody looks to.
Oklahoma won the toss, Bruce, elects to receive. 4 consecutive Big 12 titles, back-to-back trips to the college football playoff, and the Sooners looking for more in 2019. Off we go from the Rose Bowl. Trey Brown will bring it out of the end zone and get stopped shy of the 15-yard line. So here he comes, Brock. Jalen Hurts, the grad transfer from Alabama, who went 26-2 as a starter for the Crimson Tide, and as fans well know at this point, lost his job, handled it well, transferred to Oklahoma, enrolled in January, and has gotten off to a great start.
Yeah, just comfortable. And I love what Lincoln Riley said. There was nothing fundamentally they needed to work with. He feels like, in fact, he's a better passer than he gets credit for, but he just wanted him to cut it loose. So much of this position is from the neck up. We know the talent from the neck down, but he just wanted him to play free and easy, and he sure has the first 2 weeks.
More than 700 yards of offense per game for the Sooners through the first 2. Off play action on the first play here, and all kinds of room left side. There goes Jalen Hurts on the first play of the game into UCLA territory. It's a gain of 53.
This is where he is so dangerous. This is not a called run. This is a pretty good job at the initial point of attack, but you see containment, setting an edge. I'm going to say it once, I'll say it 100 times. If you do not bookend this guy and set an edge on both sides, he has so much confidence in that ability right there, and it's the X factor. Kyler could do it, but not quite with the power he can, and man, is he difficult to defend.
1st and 10 inside the 40. First run for Trey Sermon. He's got room off the edge with a flag down as Sermon gets 9, but a flag in the backfield. There were 4 holding penalties in the first quarter last week.
Offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's first down.
And so that was a blemish for him, but overall this is an offensive line that somehow, despite having to replace 4, is still really, really good.
Well, that's Bill Bedenbaugh. They didn't replace the O-line coach. I think he's one of the best in all of college football. Does such an excellent job with the technique. You're going to see some pretty innovative scheme that I am sure we will break down. That was the big right guard, Tyrese Robinson. His up ball bounced Had his hands outside the frame, and for Lincoln, not really a big deal. That play card's got plenty of explosive plays to compensate.
So because of the penalty, 1st and 20, back to the ground with Hurts, this time designed, and he gets one. It'll be 2nd down and 19 for an Oklahoma offense that is averaging close to 11 yards per play.
And that's what happens when you can run it, throw it equally. You get a defense on their heels. What happens when Lincoln is recruited and developed the way he has? 3 dynamic freshmen are now involved in that receiving crew as well. It's not really a weak link offensively.
Opening drive for the Sooners, 2nd down and long. UCLA bringing pressure. It's picked up, giving him time to throw for Calcaterra, who has it knocked away. Good coverage from Mo Osling and Chris Barnes, and it's 3rd and long.
You see quite a bit of Bruins playing defensively. Mafi right in the middle, the nose tackle, so essential as he's got to control both A gaps behind him. As Chris Barnes, he's the leading tackler. He's been the best defender through the first 2 weeks, frankly, for a defense that's played good enough to be 2-0. And on the back end, we heard Bruce mention it, Darnay Holmes is a lockdown corner, makes everybody better. And Mo Osling, who just made that play, is going to be playing more tonight than he has the previous 2 weeks.
They're going to need Holmes, who comes back today. He's defending CeeDee Lamb on 3rd and a mile. It's tucked by Hurts, and he dances his way for way more than it looked like he was going to get. And instead of 4th and long, it'll be 4th and 3 from the 30.
Oh, what a move right there on Chris Barnes, the middle linebacker that I was just talking about and bragging about, and missed tackles. That will be one of the most important stats for UCLA today. When you've got an opportunity to bring these guys down in the open field, you have to.
No hesitation from the Sooners. They're going to go on 4th and 3. Jeremiah Hall comes into the backfield with Hurts. He runs straight ahead, makes the move, gets the 1st down and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts from 30 yards, and Oklahoma strikes quickly.
Best center in college football, Creed Humphrey, right in the middle here. You don't have to be perfect with Jalen. Right, this is going to be his number called. I think in any of these short yardage situations, just get a little hat on a hat. Just put a body on a body. And if you do that, and this group up front is more than capable, whether it's Jalen, it's Trey, it's Kennedy, it's all the rest of them, that's why they're averaging 11 yards a play. So dynamic.
You talk about Creed Humphrey wanting to body slam guys. He kind of played the finesse game in space there. And Jalen Hurts on the opening drive, 4 carries, 99 yards. Oklahoma, top offensive team in America through 2 weeks. Looking like it through 1 drive at the Rose Bowl. 99 yards rushing on the first drive for Jalen Hurts.
And you know what I love? He's just not a stat guy. He learned that obviously in Tuscaloosa. He learned to be a winner at 28-2. And whatever it's going to take. And against this crew defensively, who albeit against lesser competition has held their own, he could run for 400 yards tonight.
He's on pace for 500 in the first quarter. I think is my math close to right there. Demetric Felton is back to return this. He'll take a knee. And UCLA to start at the 25-yard line with it. Their best player on offense is Joshua Kelly, who's got it straight ahead and sheds the first tackle attempt, and another for a 1st down gain of 12 behind this offensive line for the Bruins.
And the leader is right in the middle. That's Boss Tegel, the converted defensive lineman, been in his head a little bit this season. He's got to play free and easy, and awfully nice to have Joshua Kelly nearing 100%. That knee injury that cost him week 1, feeling a lot better.
All Pac-12 a year ago in his first season at UCLA. Started his career, as Bruins fans know at this point, at UC Davis. Walked on to UCLA. And was off of the bench the first few weeks last year, but really exploded as the year went on. Here is Thompson Robinson to run it. Not much there against this Oklahoma defense that people know has been the weak link to the Sooners. They're hoping for big improvements for this group.
I like the development of Ronnie Perkins. He looks the part. He's playing so much faster. Never been an issue for the guy behind him, Kenneth Murray. By far the best player defensively for Oklahoma. Such a good fit in Alex Greenwich's system. And on the back end, yeah, Watch Radley Hiles. He's home, and he's quick.
First pass play of the day is a perfect throw, and Demetric Felton has a first down into Oklahoma territory, where he's stopped by Delarian Turner-Yell after a gain of 19.
And a nice job out of the backfield here. You're going to see him get the one-on-one matchup he wants. That's on the pass rushing defensive end. That's all scheme there. Right? People have been hard on Chip, rightfully so, the first couple weeks, but that's creating a one-on-one situation with your fastest player against a pass rusher. Advantage Bruins.
A lot of pre-snap movement. You'll see a bunch of that with the Bruins. Out of the pistol on first down. Here's Kelly running into a wall. So we talked a little bit about Chip Kelly taking over this program. This is not, I mean, not just talking in terms of production, but in scheme and in look. This is not the Chip Kelly offense you got used to at Oregon.
And he told us point blank, he's not recruiting necessarily to that here now. That he's going to take his personnel that gives him the best shot to win. That is what he's always believed in. And it's slowing it down and it's running right now.
Thompson Robinson gets tripped up in the backfield by Laron Stokes, and it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, and this is going to be the challenge for UCLA up front. Whatever you see pre-snap is not what you are going to get post-snap. You're going to see constant movement. You're going to see slanting and stunting. You're going to see Alex Grinch try to show an offensive line that's got a bunch of new moving parts, a true freshman at left tackle, with the speed and fury they've not yet seen to begin this season.
Opening drive for the Bruins, 3rd down 14. A twist up front. He steps it into a collapsing pocket, down the sideline, and way out in front of Jalen Irwin. And so Alex Grinch's Sooner defense will force the punt team to come onto the field. They bring him over from Ohio State. Really made his name, though, at Washington State with a similarly high-powered offense. Still finding a way to play good defense.
Yes, and I think complementary and understanding. It's not going to be about ever being a top 10 statistical defense. You're just not going to do that with this offense. Too many snaps. But taking the ball away, getting stops just like that. And I love the speed they're playing with this month of September.
Boy, last year, Brock in Norman, 49-21 Oklahoma win. The return game was huge for the Sooners. Here, a fair catch taken by C.D. Lamb on a good punt from Wade Lees. Jalen Hurts took him down the field with his legs on that opening drive. Begin this drive from the 6. First down play action out of his own end zone has Lee Morris running free for a first down to the 30. The former walk-on with a gain of 25 on first down.
Yeah, I just don't know how you defend these guys. You're going to see the vertical come right at you here. And look at the eyes of the linebackers. They're all sucked in, right? Mo Osling is in no man's land. The safety there, obviously a miss of assignment. And when you run it and you throw it and you have the kind of balance and the explosiveness, they're a nightmare to defend.
Here's a handoff to Kennedy Brooks. A gaping hole and another first down for Oklahoma.
And just look at the offensive line. I told you, Joe, coming into this game, watch the finish. Watch how many times they get guys on the ground. They love that counter play. And I promise you this, over the next 2 or 3 years, people will be studying that, and you're going to see more of that counter, both guard and tackle pulling around, front side of the play on the ground. An O-line that doesn't want to block you. This is an O-line that wants to humiliate you.
47-yard line. Hurts back to throw. Pressure picked up. Underneath, it's Charleston Rambo breaking a tackle for a first down to the 34.
These guys make it look easy.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like routes on air. Right? I mean, it's good protection. Little curl route, little zone defense, because you got to have eyes in the backfield and no answer.
Back to Rambo, one-on-one, using a stiff arm to try and get through. Stephen Blaylock with Elijah Gates making the tackle, and it's 2nd and short.
Now, you mentioned in the open, obviously, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and crew. But I'm here to tell you, with Lincoln Riley and Bill Bedenbaugh, his co-OC line coach, it starts there. It sets the whole tempo for everybody. Personality of this team is those guys up front, and what a credit to get off to this start with 4 new starters.
It's the freshman All-American from a season ago, Kennedy Brooks. And not just the offensive line with the blocking, but there may be no better stalk blocking wide receiver group in the country than these guys.
Yeah, just look at it. I mean, look at Basquin right there in the slot. I mean, this is, and they have the same mindset as the offensive line does. They don't want to shield you. They want to get hands on you, drive you down the field. Look at CeeDee Lamb. 5 yards outside the field, he is driving his corner. Your best players having that kind of commitment set the tone for everybody else. Man, they are fun to watch on offense.
First down and goal. It is Brooks getting tripped up and back to the line of scrimmage.
I think a little faux cheer from some of the Bruin faithful. Jalen maybe made the best tackle of the game yet.
UCLA trying to avoid another 0-3 start. They've not had back-to-back 0-3 starts ever.
And look at the hands on the hips. And that's Chris Barnes. That's your senior. That's captain of that defense. And he's feeling it. He's reeling like the rest of them are, Joe.
On second and goal. Hurts looking to throw. Scanning the field. Into the end zone. Out of the hands of Braden Willis. And it's third down.
So they are human. And you're going to get a lot of zone coverage. Look at the eyes of UCLA defensively. Right? Quentin Lake gets his hands in there. And if you've got any shot tonight defensively, you're going to give up yards, but you can't break here in the red zone.
I mean, they had him 3rd and 19 in the first drive and couldn't get off of the field. Trying to force at least a field goal attempt here on 3rd and goal from the 8. Pressure picked up. Hurts scrambling left side. He's in trouble and dropped inside the 5. Where it will be 4th and goal. And the field goal team coming out for Lincoln Riley. This is one area where there are some questions coming into the year with Austin Seibert, all-time FBS leader in scoring among kickers. Not just that, but the punter and the kickoff man as well. And so they've spread those duties across 3 different players. The place kicker is Callum Sutherland. And he's got his first career make. 2 drives and 2 scores for the Sooners early on at the Rose Bowl. They lead at 10-0. Oklahoma offensively clicking on all cylinders through 2 drives.
Yeah, exactly what you did not want if you're UCLA, and that's give that much green grass to Jalen. 99 yards on that opening drive on the ground. Simply too easy. You have got to get to his legs, get him stopped before he can ever get started.
Their catch here will give the ball to UCLA at the 25-yard line. Time. Both running backs in there, Kelly and Felton. Felton actually their leading receiver out of the running back position so far. It's Kelly over the right side for a gain of 4. They gave him 3, so 2nd and 7. Option look again, and this one's blown up for a loss of 1 as Deshaun White makes it back-to-back tackles and makes it 3rd and 8.
Yeah, but it was his buddy Overton in front of him, big number 97. They're going to play about 7, 8 different defensive linemen. And I guarantee you this, Murray, White, Jones, these linebackers are going to enjoy this scheme as much as anybody. Because that defensive line is actually going to get into people this year. Unlike the last couple seasons where they've been stagnant on their heels.
3rd down and 8 for UCLA. 7 drop into coverage. That is incomplete. Felton was open underneath, but it's out of his reach, and it's 4th down.
And those are the plays. I mean, as you look at UCLA over the first couple weeks of this season, and as I chatted with Dorian yesterday, you get to 3rd down, and, you know, if that throw isn't clean, right? And that was a bit of a tight throw. Hold the ball. It's just a 4-man rush and create something this offense is not doing anything of.
Wade Lees, the Maryland transfer. The 31-year-old married Maryland transfer out of Australia. Into deep his first time. Sends another one away to CeeDee Lamb. The Lamb, who had a 66-yard return last season against UCLA, has nowhere to go here. A lot of talk about the size of the crowd at the home opener last week, just a little more than 36,000. It's a pretty darn good crowd when you consider this place seats more than 80,000, but a lot of it, Brock, is crimson.
And we've seen them the last couple days. They infiltrated LA. They love this team. And why wouldn't you? The run that they have been on under Lincoln the last couple years, what Bob Stoops built. And Jalen Hurts very much looking the part of the previous 2 Heisman Trophy winners, making it look easy.
Couple quick scoring drives. They're averaging close to 15 yards per play so far. This drive starts from the 31 with Trey Sermon over the left side, using a stiff arm to get free, and Sermon into the second level. First down into Bruin territory, 31 yards.
Tackling. The number 1 priority. If they're going to change this program, says Jerry Aznaro, the defensive coordinator, it's what they got to do better. And you're going to see it right there once again. You're there. You're available at the point of attack. One-on-one situation, you just can't get the much more talented Sooner down.
So another big play. That is already 5 plays of better than 20 yards. It's Sermon again. Not much room this time as we go down to Bruce.
Guys, to button up that point from Jerry Aznaro, after the first series, when Chris Barnes, who's probably the best tackler on the team, came over to the sideline, Don Pelham, the veteran linebacker coach at UCLA, looked at him and was like, go make a tackle. I mean, for all the stuff these guys are talking about with these kids about alignment and coverages, it's go make a tackle. Don't get caught on your heels.
And it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to do it against these Oklahoma players, as good as any. Broken coverage, and CeeDee Lamb will waltz into the end zone. The Sooners coming to the Rose Bowl and making it look easy. Touchdown from 39. They're doing what a lot of the experts thought, what a lot of the Bruins fans feared, and what a lot of the Sooners fans hoped. Sutherland's extra point makes it 17-0 in the first quarter.
It's crazy to use the word patience with as explosive as this group is, but you can watch the tape and it is what you see time and time again. And CeeDee Lamb doesn't panic. He's going to run a little route here. He's going to feel his quarterback move, Jalen Hurts, right? And just the patience to say, okay, playing zone coverage, great. I'll step on the accelerator and I'm gone. You know, running back coaches say to running backs, slow to, explode through. When you watch Jalen play, he does that. And then he gets the whole ensemble around him over the last couple weeks. Right, run your route, but when the play breaks down, there's no panic. You have a total confidence and feel of what's going on around you. And look at the explosive numbers right there. CeeDee Lamb had more coming in to this game of 20+ than UCLA had all year. And you said it exactly right. They're just making this game look easy. And trust me, it's not.
They're averaging better than 3 explosive plays a quarter so far this year. And UCLA finding a big hole early on. 17-0, 3.5 left in the first quarter, and Jalen Hurts got it done with his legs on the first drive. He's shown off the arms since.
Opening drive, not a surprise. Impose your will physically. Break, contain, go for 50. And there's a little QB draw. Really the big play, as you documented, was a 3rd and 19 to get to a manageable 4th down. Yeah, and then this drive, look at the eyes. Look at the comfort level. And remember, this guy just got here this last summer. He's a grad transfer. He hadn't been in the system for 4 years, but he knows the talent he's surrounded by.
First down pass play to Metric Felton. Crosses the 30. Bumped out of bounds by Jaden Davis. Now, how about the Bruins? How are you going to have a shot? I mean, it doesn't look good at this point, but what do you have to do offensively to have a shot?
You have to possess the ball, and not a surprise to see a little bit of a mix of tempo here. And you've got to play to your strengths.
Got to get a first down and a penalty here.
And there's not a lot of them offensively right now.
Offside. Defense, number 97, contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the big fellow Overton. Had a really nice play on the previous drive. But your strengths, as they feel in their buildings, are tight ends. So it's got to be Asiasi. It's got to be the freshman Martinez. You have got to use some of the assets you do have.
They're going to get another penalty. There's one thing for Oklahoma that they can nitpick these first few weeks. It has been the penalties. They've averaged 10 per game.
False start. Offense, number 86, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
This one's going to go on UCLA, one of those tight ends in Devin Asiasi.
But this does show you Oklahoma and what they want to do at the snap. I've called some Oklahoma games the last few years defensively. On their heels, not this group.
Aggressive ball hawking style. And I mean, we talked about it with Alex Grinch this week. The whole key to it is simplicity in the scheme, letting them play fast, letting them play aggressively. First down play action, zips one to one of those tight ends for a first down. It is Asiasi coming off of the penalty to make the catch for 25.
When you see this chaos at the line of scrimmage, you are going to get some one-on-one situations. And Asiasi, the Michigan transfer, is a big-bodied, athletic kid. And the one thing Oklahoma is defensively is small in the secondary. Now, UCLA is not big at wide receiver. They don't have that big 6'4" receiver, as you see Asiasi be intended to. But those tight ends can create mismatches.
Back to the ground here. Joshua Kelly sticks his nose down, crowded in the middle there. He settles for a couple. Yeah, what, 5'10", 160 or 185 on average in the back end for Oklahoma?
Yeah, they're a nickel-based defense, right? With Bradley Hiles in there quite a bit, or Sylvie the nickel back. Yeah, those 5 guys average 5'10" and 186 pounds. Obviously, in their conference, you need that kind of speed. In time, said Alex Grinch, they'll recruit a little bit bigger and faster on that back end.
Still not seen Theo Howard. The Bruins had said would return for this game. Their best receiver. 2nd and 8. They keep it on the ground, and Felton's got room. Bounces to the outside. Demetric Felton for a first down on a gain of 19 to the Oklahoma 23.
Well, that was a really nice job by the true freshman left tackle, Sean Ryan. He's going to be a very good one. He's right there in your screen. He gets Perkins, right? It is that block that sets the table for Felton to look a little Sooner-esque on that run.
Deepest UCLA is driven here in the first quarter. Option play into the short side. Thompson Robinson to the 16. That is his longest run this year. That can't be the case consistently. You got to get big plays out of him on the ground.
Yeah, and I thought maybe this would be the day. Looking across the sideline at the other number 1 and the damage that he does to defenses with that threat. Dorian's capable of it. Not surprised to see a QB designed run there with the option.
To make it 2nd and 2. Mentioned Theo Howard. He's in the game now. Receiver to the near side. We're in 14 in blue. Keep it on the ground with Felton. This one gets blown up. Kenneth Murray and Ryan Jones there to make it 3rd and short with his first quarter clock winding down. And it looks like that is going to be the final play of this first quarter, dominated by Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts and the Sooner offense doing it again. You come into the game leading the country, averaging 11 yards per play, and you improve upon that. A 17-0 lead, but the Bruins driving for the first time. Second quarter from the Rose Bowl coming up on Fox. First quarter stats between Oklahoma and UCLA. The Sooners averaging 16 yards per play. But as we open the second, it's the Bruins on the move with a 3rd down and 3.
Like a hard count. You may get a free 5, and you also got to see what they're doing defensively.
Taking advantage of that on this drive earlier. The sophomore Thompson Robinson will hand it off. Ronnie Perkins throwing down Demetric Felton. That'll be about a yard shy. Are you going? Or are you getting points?
You have to get 7s. I don't think there's any question about that. But you've also got to block people. And once again, Chimp's looking at that line of scrimmage, and you got 3 Sooners on the other side of it, right at the snap.
4th down and short. And a timeout taken by Oklahoma.
This is the first timeout of the half for Oklahoma. 30-second timeout.
Thompson Robinson out of the gun. And it's Demetric Felton, the much smaller of their two running backs, instead of Joshua Kelly. The lone tight end, Jordan Wilson. In there to block as Felton goes straight ahead and gets the first down. Had to have it.
Well, he did it by going underneath. Not a lot of movement there. But a pretty nifty play here from Felton. Watch him submarine and actually get underneath those tackles. Heads up play.
Low man wins. First down from the 14-yard line. Kelly comes in at running back. Play action. Looking in zone. Phillips for the touchdown on a strike from Thompson Robinson. Four-year starter and kicker, J.J. Molson. Out of the Wade Lee's hole. High snap, pulled down and poked through. J.J. Molson to kick it. Trey Brown and Michael Jones waiting back. Molson with a good one.
Not Jalen, the entire offense just spraying that ball.
Total today. Yeah, 16 yards per play for the Sooners. This drive begins with play action. Hurts will dump it off. There's Jeremiah Hall. Tackled by Carl Jones, and we check in with Bruce Feldman.
Guys, I asked Jalen Hurts this week, what drives you? And he said, you know what? To prove myself right. I love this game. I love everything about it, and I'm very dedicated to it. There's probably nobody in the country who is burning hotter to lead his team to a national title than this guy. I mean, he talked about how I'm not the same.
Touched by the receiver at or behind the line of scrimmage.
He talked about how I'm not the same guy I was when I was leading the best team as a country as an 18-year-old. And he said, you know what? I didn't have the chance to be to prove I was the best player when I was a junior. I'm very thankful I'm in this position. I'm going to take advantage of it.
On second down, facing pressure out of the secondary. There's a flag down as he finds a wide open CeeDee Lamb in Bruin territory. Making a highlight film as he dances his way to the 48. But we'll see what the call is. CeeDee can't believe it.
Holding. Offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's second down.
That is Robinson, Tyrese Robinson, called for the second time.
Yeah, a little secondary pressure. Mo Osling, again, a guy that's not played a ton the first couple weeks. I'm glad he's on the field. I think he's one of the more athletic Bruin defenders, and you can see Robinson pleading his case, but that edge pressure is coming. Anytime you hook him and you do that wrap, you're going to draw the holding call.
Second and 12. It is left side for Kennedy Brooks. And he's got close to a first down at the 35, tackled by Chris Barnes. Now, Jalen Hurts at Alabama completed 61% of his passes. And there was a lot of talk coming to Oklahoma. Can he be a guy like Mayfield and a guy like Murray? Is he a good enough passer? So far, he's completed better than 80% of his passes. He says that he didn't change much mechanically, not a huge difference other than what Bruce is talking about. It's just the natural growth, the natural maturation of a guy who's now been in college football for a long time. They spotted Brooks just short, and so 3rd and 1. Lamb motions across the formation. Here comes Hurts, waiting for the blocks to develop. And a first down across the 40 before Toyoloa finishes him off.
And you just watch these Sooners at the point of attack. I'm showing you some film here in between these series, Joe, and you're watching the Bruins just unable to identify, to get to the second level. And Oklahoma, time and again, it really doesn't matter the scheme. If it's a counter play, a zone play, those big bodies just get onto the defenders. And again, I can't give enough credit to Bill Bedenbaugh, their offensive line coach. Creed Humphrey's the best center in America, but just watch those guys. It's target practice at the line of scrimmage.
On first down off play action, Hurts steps up and throws it for the 6-year senior Nick Basquin, who's got a first down into Bruin territory. Yeah, you graduate 4 to the NFL. Into the NFL draft. 4 guys taken in the first 4 rounds, but Bill Bedenbaugh has found a way to plug and play and succeed again.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, if Kyler and Baker are watching this, like, I remember life like that, because it's very different in Arizona and Cleveland. The protection doesn't feel anything like this.
He pumps one way. Over the middle has Calcaterra. Grant Calcaterra, one of the nation's top tight ends, making a bit of a homecoming this weekend. It's at a Rancho Santa Margarita, California, and he's going to have 35, 40 friends and family here.
Oh, he was a 4-star receiver. You can see Chip right there. He's blowing air out of his mouth. Like, I remember what this used to be like. I remember having offenses that scored 46 a game and being 46-7 at Oregon. It's a lot of fun because the defense really is on their heels with very few answers.
From the 22, Hurts rolls across his body and too tall for Basquin. He was chased by Stephen Blaylock, and it's 2nd and 10.
And I think one of the keys when I think about those Ducks offenses through the years, they played a ton of people, and you'll see the Sooners roll 9 or 10 different receivers through. You'll see 3 backs. You can include Jalen in that, really, 4 backs. You'll see a mix of 2 tight ends. I mean, you just have Lincoln really does a remarkable job of running rather simple plays at times, same concepts, but with so many different people and so many unique talents filling out that roster.
Oklahoma driving again. Here's a trick play. Brooks flipping it for Rambo. One-on-one, trying to get to the outside, but can't. Excellent tackle by Quentin Lake to drop him for a loss of 3.
That's a couple plays now Quentin has made. The son of Carnell, he tipped the ball away in the end zone. Rambo, the most explosive, fastest of these Sooner wide receivers. And this is how you've got to do it in the open field. You got to grab cloth, you got to grab waist, you got to do whatever you can to corral those Sooners.
And when you get them 3rd and long, you've got to find a way to get off of the field. 3rd and 13. The Bruins rush 4. Hurts out of a collapsing pocket. Steps out and extends the play. Now throws on the brakes. Makes a man miss. He dances into open space. Sticks the shoulder down inside the 20. Drives his legs forward and makes it 4th and short.
What'd you say? Steps up, steps out. Field condenses. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you do when you're playing with the ease that he plays. The game is in slow motion, something I would know nothing about.
Or the whole running thing.
My goodness.
Sutherland, first career make from 22. This one from 32. And he is 2 for 2 tonight. So the lead back to 13 for the Sooners on the 2nd Sutherland field goal. 20-7 here in Pasadena.
They're going to give up a lot of yards between the 20s. They're holding the 3s.
A high kick. And a fair catch. We'll put it at the 25-yard line. 0-2 so far in this season as they open this drive from the 25-yard line and set up a screen for Chase Cota. Able to stay on his feet and get a dozen on 1st down. Tracked down from behind by Marquez Overton.
It's a good little concept against a very aggressive team, right? That's going to move and stunt. An excellent block there on the perimeter. And Cota's a straight line guy. Good speed.
Devin Asiasi provided that block. Cota, the son of Chad, who played about a decade in the NFL after his career at Oregon. Moves it to the 35. Option play. Here's Kelly. For a short gain, stopped by Brian Meade.
And look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sooner tacklers. Alex Grinch telling us there is nobody that can play harder than us in college football. And if they do, then that's an indictment on our staff, because that is day 1 install. You fly and you pursue to the football.
And they allow them to do that by keeping things simple.
And playing a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to have a lot of personnel as you see a backup linebacker Meade in the game.
Don't have to think, don't have to breathe hard. Bringing pressure here. Thompson Robinson in trouble and sacked. All the way back at the 21 by the redshirt freshman Jalen Redmond.
Yeah, that's a miss. That was actually a bust by Oklahoma defensively. You're going to see the tight end sneak right down the field here. If Dorian can just set his feet against that pressure, he has an opportunity to get the ball out. And once he does not, well, you've got to avoid this. I mean, this is what this whole speed defense is predicated on, the forcing the negative play.
Instead, it's 3rd and a quarter of the field, and they'll just conservatively hand it off to Joshua Kelly, making it 4th down. Crowd not liking it. This is a fan base that was so excited with Chip Kelly coming in, put up with a 3-9 first season, chalking it up to it being Chip's first year, but anticipated a whole lot more early on in his 2nd season. CeeDee Lamb back to return another punt from Wade Lees. Fair catch at the 30. 47-yard punt for Lees. Oklahoma back on offense with a 2-touchdown lead when you come back. Rob, Oklahoma trying to ensure that there aren't any more upsets on this college football Saturday. They've scored on all 4 of their possessions. They've got it again starting at the 30. Trey Sermon. Patient running for a gain of 6. You know, for UCLA, if you're going to pull an upset like this, when you've got chances, you've got to hit them.
Yeah, you're going to see Ossie here come clean. Now, Jalen Redmond, the D-tackle, absolutely manhandles Marazza, the left guard. But those are the shots. I mean, those are the opportunities that you've got to hit. And that's a bust defensively. Oklahoma, you can see the 2 safeties both drop into center field. That's a tough play for DTR with a rusher right in his face. But when you're playing the number 5 team in the country, you've got to hit those.
Sermon again on 2nd down. Good penetration this time, and Lakini Toyaloa brings him down to make it 3rd down. Third and 4 for the Sooners. They're just 1 for 4 on 3rd down so far today. Facing a 4-man rush on time and on target. That is Nick Basquin. And he's got enough for a 1st down.
Do you want to run it? Do you want to throw it? I mean, I think really for Lincoln, some of the challenge on that play call sheet is we do everything at a pretty high level. And I like that. That is on time, as you just said. Many times Jalen can sit back there comfortably, but those are the kind of throws in conference play you're going to have to make against foes a little more familiar with your scheme, a little better talent. Nice pitch and catch.
Play action, in trouble, and sacked for the 1st time today. Lengi Toyaloa brings him down for a loss of 6.
Well, that's something a little bit new that Jalen has not felt, and that is a pocket collapse around him. A good little line stunt there. And 2 or 3 Bruin defenders in the backfield.
Also Digizua as well.
Toyaloa, one of those guys with Holmes and his brother Lokani that was involved in a players-only meeting on Sunday, and Chip likes it. Those guys embarrassed about being 0-2. Got together, is it just the players on Sunday? 2 of the more vocal voices getting it done.
2nd and 16. Fake to Sermon. Hurts all day. Open man. Lee Morris 1st down. And Morris slow getting up after the hit from Jay Shaw.
We talked about patience. Watch Lee here come down. Look at him right here. He is looking like, and look at the whole action in front of him, looking like that's going to be a run play. I'm telling you, that is so hard to do in the midst of a play happening so fast that you can slow everything down. And he did take a shot, and good to see him off the field. But Joe, this isn't just Lee doing that or CeeDee. It is everybody that really does play with that kind of patience and then the ability to accelerate out of that route. Amazing.
In Bruin territory, back to the air on 1st down. Hurts patiently waits again. Throws to the sideline where it's broken up by Elijah Gates. Gates had a really tough game last weekend against San Diego State. Called for 2 pass interference penalties. He was called for a hold. But Chip Kelly loved the way that he bounced back in terms of the way he practiced this week.
Have to at that position.
Redshirt sophomore out of right here in Pasadena. 2nd and 10 for the Sooners, leading 20-7 late in the first half. Hurts to throw, again well protected. Good coverage this time, able to extend the play, and a man comes free. Charleston Rambo using his speed into the end zone for the touchdown. You can only defend downfield for so long. Hurts makes them pay with a 48-yard strike.
Can I remind you, these guys have not played together for years, but have a total understanding in the creativity of their quarterback. Look at the number of the Bruins on the ground, by the way. And then Rambo just breaks that route off. He, too, has the awareness. Cover, this is really well done. Quarterback breaks contain, you can make that contact. But Rambo, eyes in the backfield the entire way. Yet another dart. So impressive.
All 3 touchdowns for the Sooners have been big plays. 30 yards, 39 yards, and now 48 yards to extend the lead back to 3 touchdowns. Gabe Burkich, freshman from Ohio, handling the kickoff duties this year with Demetric Felton waiting back. And a touchback, put it at the 25-yard line. We've got to be thinking, well, we get the ball to open the second half. Got to do something here, but not the start they're looking for. Heaved out of bounds in 2nd and 10.
It's just the picture of 2 very different offenses, right? Snaps on the money from Tegalo. I mean, it's right on DTR's chest. His eyes, though, are already down the field. It is just the comfort level of one group on the other side. There's a converted defensive lineman, puts it on the money to Dorian, but the eyes are already lost down the field. Simplest of tasks get difficult.
Felton swings out. He finds Phillips. There's the long touchdown of the game for UCLA. And it's 3rd down inside 4 minutes in this first half.
And I would say to Dorian exactly what Lincoln Riley said on the other side of his quarterback. And I know what Chip wants to eventually get to, but just play free. Just find the ability to just cut it loose, because everything is so hard on one side and so free and easy on the other.
The way Chip Kelly put it was let it happen instead of trying to make it happen. Into coverage and picked off. Trey Brown with the interception for the Sooners.
And that's number 1 for number 1 of his career. And just an excellent job, of Trey Brown, number 6, of having his eyes in the backfield. His first career pick, look at it. Again, he's reading it. He sees the quarterback break the pocket, break contain, and he's almost baiting DTR in this situation. Almost baiting him, asking him the throw is behind. It gives Trey the opportunity to put that number 1 on a stat column that he is coveting and the rest of those Sooners are coveting. That is the takeaway.
And that is everything that Alex Grinch preaches. They had 11 takeaways last season. They had 3 last week, and they get their first one of this game. And attempting to deliver a knockout blow here late in the first half. Already up 27-7. Here's Hurts right side. Foot of the ground, pulled down by Josh Woods.
And when Chip had it going, just studying for this game this week, and obviously I remember back to Chip at Oregon, and when he had it going, it was the same thing for Nick Aliati, his defensive coordinator. He didn't care about yards. He cared about takeaways and how many different people could he play. When the Ducks were humming, they were playing 25 guys defensively. Sooners are going to get there. And Alex Grinch knows how to play complementary defense to a high-octane offense like this.
2nd and 9, pressure coming. Hurts gashing it, running into open space. Makes a cut. Gets inside the 15. Stephen Blaylock, the touchdown saving tackle, but 24 more yards for Hurts.
Once again, just look at the air around Jalen as he begins here, and the opportunity he has to sit in that pocket. Okay, a little pressure, no problem. I'm gone. See ya. You want to avoid a zone? I'm out.
138 rushing yards in this first half for him, to go along with more than 200 through the air.
Game has just slowed down so significantly for him.
Brooks, stop and start inside the 5. How much of that is credit to the offensive line? How much of that is credit to Lincoln Riley's system? How much of it is his simple growth?
You know that answers all of it. But I would say a quarterback's best friend is that group in front of him. And when Lincoln understands that, and this is a system that is predicated on getting everybody involved. And again, these are 4 new starters this season. Set by that returning all-league performer Creed Humphrey that just sets the page, sets the tone for everybody.
Second and short, it's Hurts. Stymied at the 1. Looks like he did get enough for the first down, though. First and goal for the Sooners with 1.5 minutes.
Now, I will say this, over the course of the year, it will be very interesting to watch Jalen's body handle the amount of contact that he's going to run into. He's a little different than Kyler, right? They're going to run between the tackles like that little QB power. And I think Lincoln's ability is, he's also talking some game management here with that clock too. His ability to manage some of that contact over a long season will be really critical.
Helps that he's a big, strong guy.
Yes.
A lot of armor put on in the weight room. First and goal, they duck him under center. And flip it to C.D. Lamb, trying to get the corner. Foot in the ground into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Lamb's second touchdown of the day. And they promptly take advantage of the pick from Trey Brown.
Feels a little bit like a game I watched this morning down in Orlando, Florida, where one team was just a whole lot faster than the other. That being Central Florida over the Stanford Cardinals, score similar to this one at halftime. And this is why I think Lincoln Riley is the best play caller in college football. Get your best people the ball in a variety of ways, and that defense is just constantly guessing, can't be right.
Common thread between the two games you're referencing is the conference on the losing end of that. Sutherland's extra point makes it 34-7. Burkich kicks it away. A line drive that'll give UCLA a chance this time. Here comes Felton. Able to stay on his feet to the 26. All 3 timeouts doing what they can with it. Flag flies as he heaves that thing out of bounds.
Yeah, it's just man amongst boys at the line of scrimmage.
There were 2 fouls on the play by the offense. Holding number 70, that penalty is declined. Intentional grounding. Quarterback was in the pocket and threw the ball into an area with no eligible receiver. We're going to ask UCLA their option to use a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. They will use their first timeout of the half to avoid the 10-second runoff. It's a 30-second timeout.
Good explanation there from the referee, Brandon Cruz, and an easy call on the grounding. So they avoided the 10-second runoff, which is placed on a penalty inside a minute of intentional grounding. By calling a timeout, Thompson Robinson running across the 30, stopped by Neville Gallimore. Coming up at the half, stay tuned. Rob Stone, Matt Leinart, Urban Meyer in the State Farm halftime show. They'll talk about some of the early Heisman frontrunners. I think we've got one here.
He's had a few moments.
206 through the air, 141 on the ground in the first half alone. That throw is too tall for Jordan Wilson.
All right, that's enough.
You still confident that's going to happen?
Not this season.
Short punt to bring this first half to a close. Jalen Hurts, an historic first half here at the Rose Bowl. First Sooner to have 200 passing and 100 rushing in a half. 34-7, his Sooners in front. By coming to Oklahoma.
Came to the right school that is just maximizing his talents.
But unable to take advantage when they have had those opportunities. On the ground with Joshua Kelly, got tripped up at the line of scrimmage and will settle for a gain of 2. It was a pretty quiet first half for Kelly. 7 carries for 20 yards before the break. They're in his second game back after missing the opener with a knee injury. Reed played back to Kelly into the arms of Deshaun White. Third down on the opening drive of the second half.
Be interesting to see what Alex Grinch in Oklahoma does here defensively, and do they just keep it a little bit more base? They're going to keep playing a bunch of Sooners on this side of the ball, but does he slow down some of the pressure looks and really allow these guys to continue what they did do in the first half, and that's just tee off? I mean, that O-line had no answers for the Sooner movement and aggressiveness in the first half.
Third down, they forced an 0 for 6 from UCLA. First third down of the second half is 3rd and 5. Thompson Robinson scanning the field. Now he'll tuck it. Needs the 35. He's going to get there just barely. Bumped out by Parnell Motley.
And he's going to have to do more of that. Right, he wants to play between the tackles, and I'm sure there's going to be conversation about his play and his game and Chip's offense, but it starts up front. It has to. His groups at Oregon were so good on that offensive line, and if you don't have that, then Dorian, you're going to have to do more running. You're going to have to offset some of those weaknesses up front by making plays just like that last one to gain your first third down conversion of the night.
It's a skill you wish you would have had at times.
Yes, and wasn't even close.
Here's Kelly. And he got no shot if you're not getting protection and he can't run. He can, and he has a shot because of that.
And Joshua saying, you know what, I need a shot to have some lane to run into. And then not take on one Sooner or 2 or 3, and just that continued pursuit. They are just suffocating tonight on that side of the ball as well.
Which may be the more encouraging of the two things that we're seeing tonight from Oklahoma. Look, the Sooners know what they have offensively. It's one of the best groups in the country. They're hoping that the defense can begin to be complementary, as you said. Gain of 1 here. John Michael Terry with the tackle.
Well, you didn't put 3 games together like this defensively last year or the year before that. And, you know, really defensively, they're doing with Alex Grinch what Lincoln does offensively, and that's put his personnel in the best position for success, to convert middle linebackers to pass rushers. Right? If you're a little undersized in the secondary, then play fast. And again, just watch that group up front. How many times what they show before the snap, and then the movement and the difference of picture post snap.
On third down, they rush just 3. That's a good throw and a catch for Devin Asiasi. First down into Oklahoma territory and a gain of 29.
Well, that's their second explosive of 20+. It's that seam route. That seam route you missed earlier. This time enough protection to keep your eyes down the field. And Asiasi with both the explosive plays tonight. That's now 6 on the entire season of 20+ yards, and a weapon that has to grow over this season as well.
And we see when he cuts it loose, very strong arm that Thompson Robinson has. 7 of 12 so far today. Option play into the short side. Kelly comes downhill with a gain of 4, stopped by Kenneth Murray, who is the key to that Oklahoma defense and their improvement. Number 9 in white, the preseason defensive player of the year. And when the defense has been as bad as it has at Oklahoma, yet you still have the preseason player of the year, you know the guy's something special individually. He's started every game since he arrived at Oklahoma a few years back. Freshman of the year in the conference 2 years ago, all conference last year. Looking for even bigger things this year, and he's helped plug in the gap there, along with Marcus Stripling and Marquez Overton.
And just unblocked defenders. I mean, right at the point of attack. And not one, but a good little line stunt again, using secondary pressure, bringing those linebackers. That guy Grinch is having as much fun as Lincoln does on the other side, with so many different talents and speed on the defensive side of the ball.
When's the last time the defensive coordinator for the Sooners had as much fun in a game as Lincoln Riley did? 3rd and 6 on the Bruins' first drive of the second half. Able to get pressure with 3. There's a flag down as Coda goes down to get it shy of the first down.
That's going to be hands to the face on the right guard, Murray.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Offense, number 76, 15 yards from the previous spot. It's third down. The defensive player whose helmet was removed may stay in the ball game.
Good eyes, Brock.
This is a true freshman. This is Stripling, and you're going to see here Murray, just the hands get up there, but look at the aggression. Look at the true freshman using his hands, and he's fighting and he's clawing, and he doesn't really care that the headgear comes flying off. A true freshman that's buying in awfully fast to the play and defensively, and an O-line for UCLA that just continues to take a step forward and 2 steps back.
Third and 21. Got rid of it just in time. Close to a first down. Back to Asiasi. On 3rd and 21, they get 20, and it's 4th and 1.
And Dorian takes a shot, and I love how he stepped up into that pocket. A real point of emphasis this week is don't dash right or left, and I think you found a little bit of your answer over the course of this season of where he's going to look to as a difference maker. It's 86.
Asiasi with his 3rd catch today. Bruins going forward on 4th and 1. Joshua Kelly straight ahead with a first down into the arms of Radley Hiles.
There's a good job by Murray, the right guard. A little bit of movement from Tegalo. One of the first times where you saw that UCLA group actually get their legs underneath them and push those Sooners backwards. It's been quite a different story the majority of this game, but excellent execution on 4th down.
Fresh set of downs from the 22. Sophomore from Las Vegas, Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of Bishop Gorman High School. Running the option into the short side of the field. He'll cut it upfield and bounce outside for a first down. At Bishop Gorman, he was only the starter for 1 season. And you think that's something that doesn't get enough attention. The fact that this guy really hasn't played a lot of high-level football at quarterback.
No question about it. Tate Martell was the starter there. He played a little receiver. There is no substitute for experience.
And last year, his part-time starter dealt with the injury. Wilton Spate kind of took over the job late. He dealt with a shoulder injury. So continuing to learn on the job. 12th play of the drive. First one of the second half. He's in trouble. Turns and heaves. Back of the end zone and incomplete. But receivers in the area to avoid the grounding. Ronnie Perkins and John Michael Terry applying the pressure.
That's a heck of a job there. You saw a sack earlier. Right, where an unblocked defender came in, retreat, can't get rid of the ball, take a sack, kill the drive at 20-7. And that time, well, I think he knew it at the snap. He knew he had unblocked defenders coming. It's a wonderful job on first down in the red zone to stay alive. Can't have a negative play.
Kelly. Stopped by Murray. 3rd down.
Well, this is one way to slow down Oklahoma's offense.
Keep them off the field.
Yep. Your best defense can be an offense that possesses the ball now for 7 minutes.
Going down into the end of the stadium where it is all crimson. 3rd and 6 for the Bruins on the 14th play of the drive. Well protected, throwing sideline. That is a touchdown. Impressive drive to open the second. Next point coming from J.J. Molson. Low snap, good job by Lees to still get the hold down.
Most importantly, keep Jalen and that Sooner offense on the sideline.
A touchback. On the 25-yard line, they start the second half with a Trey Sermon run. He bounces off Mo Osling, who recovers to bring him down with Chris Barnes, and a gain of 6.
How many programs do we see week in and week out around the country? You just watch. It's like, oh, the O-line, they're a spread crew, and they just block, or they just slide protect, or not these guys. They run counter, they run power, they run zone, they pass protect. They do so many things within their offense, but it starts with those 5.
Pressure coming. They pick it up. And complete. No flag with a coverage from Elijah Gates on Charleston Rambo.
Here you go, UCLA. You drove it 7.5 minutes. You got a third down. Can you get off the field and do something you couldn't in the first half?
Oklahoma has 6 drives in the first half, scored on all 6, 4 touchdowns and a couple field goals. 3rd and 4 from the 31.
Pressure look.
And they bring it. It's a screen. Rambo can't get away from Gates. And UCLA forces the first punt of the game from Oklahoma.
I love it. You see some of the adjustments. And Lincoln right there, he's thinking that's a one-on-one situation. You got to break that tackle, make that play. Yeah, you can see it because he knows what he's going to get on the other side. UCLA is going to chew that clock, try to employ the same scheme, take that offensive out of rhythm by simply taking the ball out of their hands.
Kyle Phillips had a 30-yard return last week. Back to take this one from Reeves Munchow. Fair catch at the 24 on a 42-yard punt. The Bruins drive it down the field, score first drive of the second half. They've got it again after this. So the Bruins with the ball again at the 25-yard line. 75-yard touchdown drive to open the half. Thompson Robinson headed in the wrong direction and sacked. That is Nick Bonito, the redshirt freshman from Fort Lauderdale, dropping him way back at the 11.
It sure is. Pretty good coverage on the outside. Motley hip to hip, nowhere to go. Double team in the tight ends, and yet another line stunt that just gets home. Mr. Perkins sets table. Bonito, unlike the Bruin counterparts that lost contained so many times, he does not. And that is a negative play that is just so difficult to overcome if you're UCLA.
Loss 14. Second down and a mile here for the Bruins. They'll run it and break a big one with Demetric Felton getting it all back and then some to the 47. A gain of 40 for Felton, one of the biggest chunks of the day for the Bruins.
And once again, a really good job by the right guard Murray. Look at him get to the second level. And actually, he
Jeremiah Hall. Yeah, good penetration that time. Carl Jones and also Diggy Zua.
That's a kid they're high on. That is a true freshman. Not a lot of true freshmen contributing playing for UCLA like they did a year ago. But he's the one that's getting a little bit more run, and the less he has to think and the more he can do that right there and just react. You see he's got some unique physical skill sets that I bet you over the course of the season you're going to see more and more of Jones.
Came in as a safety, starting to play him more at linebacker. Fires his gun there, makes it 2nd and 11. Brooks tracked down from behind by Josh Woods. Time for a game break. We go to studio with Amber.
Guys, a wild finish on FS1 after nearly 3 hours of weather delays. Iowa State getting the ball back, down 1 with a chance to win the game. And Daytron Young runs into the returner. Iowa comes up with a loose ball and goes on to win the Cy Hawk Trophy for the 5th straight season. 18-17, your final. Joe, Brock?
Didn't that game start like yesterday? It just finishes now. 3rd and 9. Bruins defense with a chance to get off of the field again. There's a flag down. It's likely a free play for Hurts and the Sooners. He's going to get sacked back at the 25 by Josh Woods. But likely a flag on UCLA.
I think it was Woods that got into that neutral zone, and Jalen knew it was a free play.
Offside. Defense. Number 3 was in the neutral zone with the snap. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
I think he meant number 2 right here on the edge. He just gets into that neutral zone. You can see the clap.
And look at Creed Humphreys taking a peek over there, seeing that, taking advantage.
Yep. And then back-to-back 3-and-outs.
Still got a shot at it. 3rd and 4. Much more manageable here for the Sooners, though.
Have to contain Hurts. You've got to keep him between the tackle box.
Braden Willis joins him in the backfield and leads the way on 3rd and short. He's dancing around. He's getting a 1st down. There was no shot, and he found a way and then used the strength to get enough.
Well, they kept him between tackles. Right? This is that design QB run. Call that a duo concept. You get a couple double teams, and then Jalen just moved the pile. Now, why does he work out after last week's game? Moments like that. Powerlifting champ in high school, and an unbelievably powerful kid that's going to carry defenders for 1st downs.
Does there into UCLA territory with his 3rd quarter clock winding down. Brooks. Stopped by Gates.
So patient. When they run that counter scheme and they pull those big linemen around, you have to be so patient. I was asking Lincoln about it a little bit on our phone call this week of just the details, and I love what he said. It takes a total team commitment as you see a Bruin down. Lots of little details that go on in that counter run game, and the patience of those backs to believe in the people in front of them.
It's Elijah Wade. That's been a pleasant surprise for the Bruins. Converted linebacker, playing more defensive end now.
And he's in the Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner build.
And that's a move that they made with those guys too at Oregon, moving them from linebacker to the end.
Jerry Azanero, the defensive coordinator, saying, you just wait. Number 99 is going to be like those guys. He's added 25, 30 pounds, and he likes playing inside. Sometimes you move those outside backers, and they're like, I don't want any of that chaos inside, but he's a guy that's really grown into that role and will benefit them over the long term.
Tyler Manoa comes in, 2nd and 3.
We have a play shot off that counter action soon enough.
Hurts back to throw, looking deep, letting it fly. Charleston Rambo, touchdown Oklahoma. A play action shot for a 39-yard touchdown.
Well, it wasn't first blood for Rainbow, but speed kills. Man, does it kill. CD on the other side, he's not quite Hollywood, but he's not too far behind. And You just knew it between those 40s. You run, you're going to set up that play action shot. Those safeties get a little flat-footed, and it's game over.
4th touchdown today for Oklahoma of better than 30 yards.
You're not, and he makes you pay.
Another touchback and another game break. Looks like Thompson Robinson maybe looked the wrong way initially, and now he'll take off and turn it into a nice gain. 14 for him.
It's the most active we've seen him running, and this is going to be teaching tape for him the rest of the year.
Jalen Irwin hurt.
And we saw him limp off earlier on that screen pass, and he's trying to fight through injury. But number one, get ready to do more of this year. You're going to be asked to carry more of the load in the run game, and it's a have-to with the personnel around him.
His longest rush of the season there. Kelly trying to bubble it to the outside. Marcus Stripling was the first to make contact. Couldn't bring him down. And then a thunderous collision between Kelly and Brown. There are flags down.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. An automatic first down. This is the end of the 3rd quarter. Come out on the field.
What do you think?
I think there's a little block in the back right there that just throws, unfortunately, Brown right into a hard-charging Kelly.
And then they get Overton for the penalty, bringing this 3rd quarter to a close. All Oklahoma in this one. 41-14 as we start the 4th with a first down and 10 from the 38. Thompson Robinson zips one for Devin Asiasi. Make that Mike Martinez. True freshman from Modern Day with his 2nd reception over the last couple weeks. They like him a lot.
That's a big man, as you see Irwin, who's trying to fight through that injury, and he's heading into the locker room. Martinez is a giant.
Huge hands.
12.5-inch hand, size 19 shoes. And one of those young puppies, not a ton of true freshmen playing, but he will even more over the course of the year. Mismatch.
From the 20, they run the option. They lose a couple. They get rid of the sacks, and he's been fairly productive running the ball today.
Yeah, 49 yards rushing. Unfortunately, 3 sacks for negative 43. I mean, those are just the killer. They talked about being more aggressive with him in the run game, that he's got to own that. And I like the aggressiveness. I don't know if I like running option into the short side of the field against a speedy defense.
They've done it a bunch tonight. On 2nd and 11. Dangerous throw, incomplete. Ryan Jones bearing down on Joshua Kelly. 3rd down.
That was good coverage. This may be an undersized crew on the back end of this defense that Dorian's looking at. But there have been a bunch of occasions tonight, other than his tight ends, just about everybody else for Coach Grinch has been hip to hip so many times down the field. So where is your tight end?
Thompson Robinson well protected. He'll dump it off for Demetric Felton. And look at that hit from Jaden Davis. Man, this true freshman who played well and given the opportunity last week, and Alex Grinch said he's only going to see more and more time. He's played well again tonight.
Yeah, the true freshman, we saw it earlier on a screen pass where he fights through Asiasi's block. He fights through the offensive guard's block. That time, that's really well done. He knows where his help is coming, his pursuit's coming, and he finishes the tackle.
J.J. Molson out there for a 36-yarder. And he has missed each of his first 2 here in his senior season. First locker room here back in the 1920s with some of the all-time legends of college football have been in and out of there. They've repurposed it into a museum. Calcaterra sheds Chris Barnes. Yeah, he gets a gain of 17.
I remember sitting in these stands in 1991, a Rose Bowl moment with Mario Bailey. playing Michigan and giving Desmond Howard the little Heisman Trophy right back at him.
The Sooners have a recent Rose Bowl memory, not a good one. Last time they played here was college football semifinal against Georgia, the overtime loss. They've been that close back-to-back years, and the first two under Lincoln Riley. Is this year different? It's a high snap, and Hurts gets crunched. That's the first time we've had a chance to talk about Neil Maffey, who they knew had to have a big game for them to have a chance. And the fact that we're just talking about him for the first time early in the fourth tells you a lot.
Yeah, they've played a lot more kind of four-down nickel defense, so Maffey's not really been able to impose his will. He does his traditional T right there for where he's born in Tonga. Kid that's transformed his body, just loves to play. Just got to bounce to his game. He'll be a bigger factor in other matchups. Tough one tonight with Oklahoma's system.
You mentioned changing his body. He's dropped 50 pounds since he got to UCLA a little more than a year ago. Sermon brought down by Blaylock. And it wasn't one of those things where they looked at him and said, look, dude, you have to shed weight. It was a conversation about work ethic and eating habits and just a bigger picture conversation. And he's really bought into the whole process and transformed himself. Third down for the Sooners early on in the fourth. Another free play here. Hurts for Drake Stoops, who makes the adjustment in the catch. Yes, it is Bob's son with a gain of 19 and an Oklahoma first down.
Defense number 9, penalty is declined. Result of the play is first down.
And Lincoln Riley told us he is a good football player regardless of who his dad is.
And what a beautiful route. That's now another occasion where you've turned that UCLA defender. And that time it was Jay Shaw, the outside corner look there by Stoops. And anytime you could see the smile on his face, Coach Beamer right there, you turn the hips of that defender, you have sold that route.
Hit 200 catches in high school at Norman North. Here's Sermon bouncing out of a pile and getting pulled down by Tyler Manoa.
I think that's one of the other areas outside of the offensive line, Joe, that just resonates and stands out on tape. We see another Bruin down, unfortunately, as they have just taken some of the physical beating tonight.
Conversation with the training staff, bit of a scary moment there. Second down, 7 for Oklahoma. And the first carry today up the middle for Stevenson. That is Ramondre Stevenson, first-year JUCO transfer, who led them in rushing last week, more than 100 yards. That included a 75-yard touchdown. Said that he knew that he couldn't get caught because he would wear it in the running backs room if he did. It was his driving force running through his mind, and he was running down the field. Back to Stevenson.
And he was a guy that UCLA wanted. And he's one of the targets. Cerritos Junior College, a junior college player that's coming in here, and he doesn't mind playing third. He understands there's going to be ample opportunity over the course of this season, but those are the kind of guys Chip's going to need over the years. He's got to have more depth. I think that's one of the things that jumps out the most. Simple spending time yesterday with him and just watching where this group is. He, in order to do what he wants to do, has got to add a lot more depth in nearly every position group.
Hurts into the flats for Jaden Hazelwood. And you go from one of the first-year guys to another. Hazelwood, part of the best wide receiver class in the country. Oklahoma brought in, and he's the headliner of the group. Consensus #1 recruit among receivers.
Not a bad system to come into, right?
Eesh.
Lamb's going to be a first-round pick. Hollywood was a first-round pick. It's not just the QBs that go in that first round and make lots of money. You get an opportunity to flourish in this system.
We talk about Mayfield leaving, replace him with Kyler Murray. He leaves, replace him with Jalen Hurts. I mean, how about Hollywood Brown leaving? And it's still one of the most deep, one of the deepest positions you're going to find on any team. Stevenson again, close to another first down. Back to Amber in studio for a game break.
Joe, we have an update in Lexington after a late Gator touchdown. Kentucky kicker Chance Poore for the win from 35 yards out, and it is wide right. The number 9 Gators, they went on to win 29-21 after rubbing it in with a late touchdown in the closing seconds. Joe, Brock?
Oh, I feel so bad. Kickers on moments like that when it doesn't go right. The worst. 2nd and 1. Bruins showing pressure up the middle. Hurts keeps it. Inside the 10. Down to the 6. Stuck by Mo Osling.
You just have to commit more and more resources. Right? They run it right at you. They run it right at you. And then, well, this is the other weapon. This is where they just outnumber you. And you can see there's no contain. There's no edge. I think Jalen, the smart thing here over the course of the season, just continuing to learn how to protect himself.
Chris Barnes, the injured Bruin. Jalen Irwin back from the locker room with the pads off. It's gone from bad to worse for the Bruins. All these injuries they're suffering here late. Stevenson into the teeth of the defense. 2nd and goal.
And if it is basketball, by the way, on grass,
yeah,
they're the Pistons. Like the old school Rodman Horn Pistons.
The bad boys.
Yeah. Yeah, and Wade and UCLA and crew know it. And all you had to do is watch the film, and you know what you're in store for. And especially with that now battering ram coming behind the quarterback as well, the leading rusher on this team.
On 2nd and goal, Hurts rolling to his left. He'll dump it off. Incomplete. Jeremiah Hall had a touchdown in his hands, but couldn't rein it in. 3rd and goal. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
R.J. Proctor.
Virginia transfer, seamlessly fitting right in with his offensive group. Played a bunch in the absence of Hayes over the last couple weeks with his injury as well. Yeah, you can smile and chuckle when you're in complete control with 7 minutes to go. But Mr. Beadenbow, not a lot of smiling right there.
Never, no matter how good it is. Part of what makes him great. 2nd and goal from the 15. Hurts steps out of the pocket, throws to the end zone. A flag down there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be on Darnay Holmes in the end zone, reaching and grabbing after a Sooner wide receiver.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 1. Half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
Yep.
You're going to see Darnay coming into your screen here, and those receivers have just broken away too many times today, right? You have seen them as Jalen's broke contain. How many different big plays have happened down the field? Darnay getting his first action of the season. I called his name a bunch tonight. He's done a nice job, but I guarantee you he is gassed right now.
And you can only defend for so long. How many times have we seen Hurts either just stand back there and wait for somebody to come open, or as you mentioned, extend the play and force him to cover for even longer, or somebody breaks free. 1st and goal, Stevenson straight downhill with a 2. Offensive lineman in here. 230-pounder coming right at him into the end zone for the touchdown. His 3rd over the first few weeks.
These Sooners are going to be a fascinating conversation over this season, Joe. Because there absolutely is air raid elements in this. That's the system after all. The link can cut his teeth in. But don't kid yourself. This is a run-first team that just so happens to be able to throw very explosively. With Baker, they were a throwing team that ran it very, very well as well. You know, Kyler A season ago, he was awfully dynamic too. But this season, as much as any as I can remember watching these Sooners, both leading into this game and then seeing him in person, good luck trying to contain that man's run game over the course of this season. In here tonight, huh?
Yeah. Joe Buck in town for the call. Take a look at our position.
Getting it out of his hands quickly.
Kelly for a short gain on first down. So here are those final numbers for Hurts. Pretty good.
How about as a group? 289 passing, 287 rushing.
That's balance. Kelly again, third down. Can anybody in the Big 12 stop him?
Well, you would like to think Texas, but then you watched LSU go up and down the field through the passing game, and Lincoln's got enough offensive weapons on the perimeter to do that. I think a receiving core that's not quite at Clemson and Alabama's level with experience, but it's not far behind. And then I don't know how you contain this run game as long as Mr. Hurts stays healthy.
3rd and 6. Sooners bring pressure. Thompson Robinson goes down. Brian Asamoah.
The redshirt freshman from Columbus, Ohio. You continue to be who you are. You're not going to just play prevent defense. Asamoah comes on the late pressure here with the linebackers, and this is the one thing that Dorian's got to try to avoid this season, just the catastrophic negative plays. That's now the 4th sack for well over 50 yards of lost yardage on those sacks.
Drake Stoops. Good, slammed down. 4.5 left to go at the Rose Bowl. Oklahoma in control.
And when you run the game, run the ball, and you play defense, you have a chance to run that table.
Tanner Mordecai into the game at quarterback. Redshirt freshman out of Waco, Texas. Throws incomplete. Did some good things off of the bench against San Diego last week.
And honestly, as I watched Jalen both tonight over the course of this week, you see Lincoln Riley on one sideline. It wasn't all that long ago that Chip Kelly on the other sideline was running the same show in college football. That you sat there and went, man, nobody's going to stop the run game, Chip Kelly. Nobody's going to stop all the weapons they have. How can you possibly contain that crew that was scoring 40 a game and running for 250 plus?
Stevenson able to break a few tackles, get 7.
But at Oregon, you know what Chip had? He had 3 backs oftentimes. LaMichael and Kenyon, those guys played together. What's Oklahoma have? 3 backs. What did Chip say to us yesterday? He's got to develop here in time. It's why he has to be here for 4 or 5 years to at least try to give him the opportunity to do what Lincoln's done, and that is bolster every single personnel group to not be 1 deep or 1.5 or 2 deep, 3 or 4 deep.
That one was hit as his arm came through. Incomplete. Theo Weiss couldn't grab it. And it's 4th down. Phillips back to return the punt from Munchau. A fair catch. They'll have it at the 15.
Sacks, negative plays, situationally strong. What they have not been able to do the last couple seasons on that side of the ball.
What a good day for Demetric Felton. He's got a first down and a gain of 17. UCLA, meanwhile, is going to fall to 0-3. Back-to-back seasons starting 0-3 for the first time in program history. That slide to start last season went all the way to 0-5 before they went 3-4 down the stretch. Chip Kelly will continue to ask for patience with a group that is still very young.
But I think a key in that is he's got to then recruit. And last year's recruiting class, you know, by the stars and the measurement, however you want to look at it, not good enough. Where this thing is trending this year, really not good enough.
66th that last check. The class is put together for 2020. That is caught by Jordan Wilson for a first down. Here's what's coming up for the Bruins.
Only a trip up to the Palouse to face the 3-0 Cougs that are playing lightning fast and putting up offensive numbers. Well, close to on par, doing them differently than the Sooners, but incredibly explosive.
Thompson Robinson on time for Greg Dulcich.
And there's not many that you look at that schedule and say this UCLA roster right now on paper is markedly better. Maybe the Beavs with Jonathan Smith, who is in rebuild mode as well, but there is not many on that schedule where right now what Chip has top down on this roster, not lining up on paper and winning many of those matchups.
Thompson Robinson steps into pressure and gets intercepted by Ryan Jones. Second pick today for Oklahoma. This one comes from the sophomore from Charlotte.
And another shot right to the ribs. And how many times have we seen this right in the face of Dorian tonight? A tale of two very different sky cams. Offensive linemen not communicating. I mean, that's not an overload. That's not 6 defenders. That's some miscommunication on that line of scrimmage. People turning their heads looking at Dorian taking a beating. And yet another of the most precious stats for that Sooner defense. Takeaway against BYU. So there were no ranked-on-ranked matchups, but a couple in that top 25 that sting.
Another one of those talented freshman receivers, Trajan Bridges, gets 13. They've reached 600 yards of total offense. More than 100 below what they averaged over the first 2 weeks.
Yep.
What a machine.
Just so physical. You see it on tape. I want to see it in person. See it against a Power 5 team in UCLA who played some pretty good defense, and just to impose their will physically really in every phase.
It's Mordecai, first down.
UCLA is going to be really bruised tomorrow in a lot of different spots. And this is a title contending team. Jalen makes these guys absolutely, we will be talking about them in a chase for a playoff spot.
About to get their 21st consecutive road win. I mean, that's crazy. That's back to October of 2014. Stevenson crunched in the backfield and ridden out of bounds. Javari Anderson. They would match, and will at this point match, the second longest streak for any program since World War II. Trailing the 1950s Oklahoma Sooners won 25 in a row on the road. 21 in a row on the road, and 3-0 to open 2019, and as impressive of a 3-0 as you're going to find.
And Chip runs across, and he knows where his program's got to get to. The program that he once led that played at this level, but a crew right now that is a long, long ways away from.
Jalen's with Bruce.
Good luck to y'all, boys.
All right, Jalen, there's been some great quarterbacks who played for OU. You're the first one who's ever thrown for 200 and run for 100 in the first half. How do you feel about this, and what can you do to get better?
I mean, I'll continue to say, you know, there's always room for improvement, and I think we gotta be more crisp. You know, it sounds like a broken record, but it's the truth, and I'll go, you know, continue to say it and say that to my teammates.
How is the system different for you?
We're just going out there and executing. Got great players, a great coach. Everything's great, and we're functioning well. You know, we got to take more steps. We got to take. We got to make steps.
I talked to you earlier this week, and you told me you're a lot different quarterback than you were when you were a freshman. When you were the SEC Player of the Year as a freshman. How so?
Just the overall different player. You know, everything's different. I'm at a different place, but I'm happy I'm here, and hopefully we can keep building as a team.
All right. Thanks, Jalen. Guys?
All right, Bruce, he is right out of his head coach's mold, isn't he? Not going to share a whole lot. 48-14, he and Lincoln Riley lead the Sooners to the win over UCLA. We'll be right back to the Rose Bowl for more post-game coverage after these messages on Fox.